Hi, Luann.
I knew you'd look good. I'm like, I knew it. I just knew it. What is it? The accessories? Is that what we have to do? Is get more accessories to
No,
look fabulous, or you just look
I think it's her
fabulous?
born face.
Yeah, I think so too. I
Thank you.
said you're gonna look so good, and I am regretting not putting more of an effort in
You
today.
look great.
Thank you. So do you.
Thanks.
Thank you, girls. How are you?
Good. How
We're
are you?
good.
How are you?
Great. Great. Back from Chicago.
Amazing.
You're coming to Canada.
I am
again.
excited.
Except for this time, not Toronto and the other times we missed you. And then I was like, oh, she's back in Canada. Can't wait to go. And not Toronto this time.
I know. I'm in Calgary and Inuk, I guess, on the 15th and 16th. But, hopefully I'll be back in Toronto in the new year.
Good. Perfect.
Who are we talking to, Natalie?
All right. We have Countess Luann Lesseps. She is, if you're living under a rock, she's an original cast member of The Real Housewives of New York City. And she was ranked #1 housewife by TV Guide, topping all 46 housewives from all the different cities. She is also an author, a philanthropist, a model, an actress, TV star, and a cabaret entertainer. And we're really excited because she is coming back to Canada. And just recently, she starred in the show Welcome to Crappy Lake, which is the first of its kind spinoff of a premiered on Bravo and Peacock, which Cat and I have not seen yet, but apparently everyone says we will love it.
You will.
We're so excited to have you on here. You're also a singer. She has hit songs. Sorry, you're a mom. Is there anything you don't do?
I think I've covered all the bases, right?
I was gonna say you're even a nurse, right? You were a nurse?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How long ago were you a nurse?
Oh gosh. Well, once a nurse, always a nurse. I still have my license in New York and yeah, it was quite a while ago, when I was 20 years old.
Do people still call you and ask you for advice? Like, I feel like if I had a nurse friend, I would still call and ask.
Of course, all the time. So it came in very handy for having children, I can tell you that.
What kind of a nurse were you?
Actually, I was a geriatric nurse of the elderly. So I did that for like 3 years, and then I got scouted to be a model in New York. And that, and so I thought, what, I can always work as a nurse, later in my life. And then it just, my life turned into moving to Europe, and then, married in Europe, and, living there. And so, yeah, quite a departure from my nursing days.
Oh my gosh, because I was going to say, well, one thing that she isn't is a doctor, but I know that you and I would be like, if you're a nurse, you know the medical stuff. You're basically a doctor.
Oh, same thing. I actually think you know more than doctors do. That don't take offense, doctors. I do feel like the nurses do the heavy lifting in a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Luann, we're just gonna go back a little bit. You were a model and you got married. What possessed you to join the Housewives franchise before it was really like what it is?
Well, I was at a party and I met Jill Zarin, and Jill Zarin said to me, "I'm doing a TV show. You should be on it. I think it'd be perfect." And so I was at a party in the Hamptons because we lived between Switzerland and the Hamptons at the time, and I took her up on it, and it turned into the Housewives of New York City.
Oh my gosh.
I watched that, by the way.
Yeah.
I watched, I was such a hardcore fan because you guys were like one of the original
cast.
Totally. It was the OC came first, and then New York. And I think soon after that was Atlanta, Beverly Hills, Jersey. So yeah.
I think I stopped at your season. I think I stopped when you, I think those were my two. And then I never could go on. I never watched the others. It was OC and New York, which were sort of like the revolution of how it became. And I don't think this question's on here, but if you were to be asked again, you could rewind time and go back, would you say yes again?
Was it the
100%?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had so much fun on the show. We've gotten to take these amazing trips. I got to sing with Natalie Cole. Who can say that? So, I have no regrets about the show. I loved being on it. I thought New York was really the best franchise. And it's been a great ride.
Luann, this also question is not approved to ask, and I know that a lot of people probably know this, but I don't. When you're talking about when you were like a nurse when you were 20, and then the modeling and getting married and living between Switzerland and the Hamptons and all of that, is that how you grew up? Or like, can you believe that turned into your life and where your life is now? Were you just like normal before?
I literally would stand outside my house in Switzerland, and look in, and we beautiful antiques and Louis Couture's and all these beautiful things, and I would think to myself, I mean, if I was a thief, this is a house I would go to, and I grew up in a small town in Connecticut, one of 7 children. I talk about this in my cabaret show. And I always dreamed of a bigger life. And then I go on to sing Dreams from Fleetwood Mac because I sang that song growing up every single day as a teenager. And I was in love with music. I used to take my older brothers and sisters' music, and just was always passionate about singing. And so, wind up to the future, I had no idea that it would turn into a cabaret career. Of course, I did all of this on the show, the Housewives, and I got a lot of pushback, of course, from the ladies about it. So, I discovered that I love to sing for my friends, I love to host parties, and I love to tell jokes. And a really good friend of mine's like, "Well, you should be doing cabaret." I'm like, "Oh, I've never thought about that." And then I started Countess and Friends. It started like that as kind of a host. It was more of a variety show, like Carol Burnett. I grew up on Carol Burnett. I love Carol Burnett. And then it turned into cabaret. And when I started doing it, I didn't realize there was a total void really in the market for it because, Liza's not doing it anymore. Chita Rivera's not doing it anymore. There's really no one doing what I do, which is cabaret meets pop culture meets comedy.
What is cabaret for the people who are
I've never seen cabaret?
Like, what would cabaret be if I was like sitting here being like, sorry, what is that?
Or
for people?
or even our daughters. What's cabaret?
Yeah.
Cabaret is really a life journey of whoever the performer is. It's I tell stories that get into each song, so you understand my relation to the music. I show pop culture videos of Housewives moments that breaks into another song. It's really a personal journey of whoever the performer is cabaret.
But you sing via a song.
Music and comedy, and story. It's really about the person's story.
It sounds like if you just had a bunch of hours to yourself and your mind just imagined all these things. It's like your fantasy and imagination coming to life on stage to perform it in front of everybody.
I know it's great. It's very creative. Right now I'm working on my next tour for 2024 and picking music. And I love that. I love the creative part. I've got an amazing director who was directing Kristen Chenoweth, and now he's directing Barbara Streisand when she performs. So I have a major director who's an icon to work with within the business called Richard J. Alexander. But again, I pick all my music. He kind of just arranges it and, tip of the hat and throw up your, so we have a great time,
Luann, who else goes on stage with you?
Well, I have a musical director, my piano player, and bass and drums. So my band, we're like 7 people. We love, they're like family to me. We started in 2018, and we just have the best time on the road. We really enjoy it. I mean, I love to perform, and I think you can really see that from the fans that come to the shows because, it's been going on for almost 6 years now, which I can't even believe.
Is it currently your favorite thing to do? Cabaret, that's your passion right now?
That's my passion project. I'm also working on a new song for the new tour. So I love getting in the studio again. Bruce Roberts, who's written for Whitney Houston to Streisand. So that's a lot of fun. I love the creative part, and
I was going to say you have to be so creative.
You have to create your own story, right? The show is about your life and what you create, and so I've always been a kind of a creative, and just never dreamed I'd be singing all my favorite songs on stage right now.
You have to fly me to her show.
Okay, let's go to Calgary. Actually, let's go somewhere warm. Are you going to go warm 2024? We're from Canada. We need warm.
Oh, I'm in Los Angeles on February 16th for Valentine's Day.
See you there.
That's our Valentine's Day date.
February 16th at the Wiltern, which is a great theater. It's where Madonna played.
Okay, Luann, we have like so many women who follow us and listen to this podcast. And I feel like we're coming to a place where some people are trying to learn how to have a fuck it attitude. And I feel like you maybe were born with a fuck it attitude. I feel like, is that true? Because I feel like there was no stopping you. And I feel like people try to find that. Do you think you're born with it? Or do you think you can find it? Or do you think it's both?
I think it's both. I really do. I think that, I tend to run towards the things that fear me because I think that's how you grow. I'm a chance taker. Listen, I took a chance, moved to New York as a model. It was hard. It was really hard. I had to work per diem as a nurse to make ends meet. And then I realized, all the models are talking about Milan and Paris. I'm like, I want to go to Milan and Paris. And so I went for 2 months and I never came back. I stayed for 12 years. I ended up marrying a Frenchman. So, I think the key, and I write a song about this called Viva la Diva, written by Desmond Child and myself, which is, he wrote Living on a Prayer, Living the Vida Loca. And Viva la Diva, because there is a diva deep inside of all of us. And I say that in the lyrics, because I think we all have that. We just have to find it.
I just have to ask, from a vocal standpoint, I know I always say I can't imagine how singers can go multiple nights and sing and not lose their voice. And I'm sure that they train because their vocal cords are an instrument. But I feel like you have kind of a raspy voice. How do you not lose it?
Sometimes it can go on me. And, even if it does happen during a show, I mean, I could fall down and they would be like, Countess, that was so elegant. They are love my fans. And, they come dressed for me. They show up in their Giovanni's and their statement necklaces. It's just a beautiful thing to watch. And I love the fans. They're connected automatically by the Housewives. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like another show where you go and you're watching, but you have no rapport with whoever is performing. This is a totally different experience, an immersive experience. I do a Q&A with the audience. So we get to talk about, and they get to ask me things from the show that they want to know. It's immersive. They know the clips that they see from the show and are reminded of that moment, and so it's really immersive, and fans will go out after the show. They'll go out together because they have the common thread of Housewives, which is cool. I've heard, we've been to see, Beyonce, and we had more fun at your show than at Beyonce because they can't really talk to Beyonce or get to know her. So it's a totally different experience, and that's what I love about Cabaret is they connected to the audience, and that's what they don't know what to expect. They come in a Toyota and they drive out in a Rolls Royce because I put on. I work really hard at it, and I love it, and I think you can see that.
Are your siblings like? There's Luann. Like,
what are the other six
surprised.
doing?
There she is.
That's what we thought you'd do.
Not surprised,
right? Well, listen. After I moved to Milan in the '90s, and they got a phone call one day that I got married. I mean, I met the count later. Because I just knew, when you know. So nothing surprises them about me.
I was going to say, I feel like that. No one's like, oh my gosh, can you believe it? They're like more like, there she is. Of course.
Well, even when I first came back to the States in the Hamptons, before I met Jill Zarin, I was doing segments for a local TV station. I went in there and I said, you know what, give me a camera. I'm going to make you a little TV show for the local. and I've always kind of been, I used to work for Italian television. I don't know if you know that. When I went to Milan, I got involved in, I was modeling, but then I got involved in television. So I became a TV star in Italian television. So, television is part of my background also. But, to be able to, get to play myself on television and be myself is the greatest gift of all.
How about let's talk about your personal struggle with sobriety, being in the public eye. Like that just seems like it would be so dramatic. And where are you at? And what was that like? And I mean, people do it in private all the time, but you had to do it all in public.
Yeah. Well, of course, it wasn't easy. I've had my downfalls, but everybody has, life has ups and downs, and mine happens to be very public. And so, I wasn't afraid to do what I had to do to seek treatment. And, I did all these shows without drinking. I certainly don't drink on Cabaret, etc. I take it day by day. I hate to say, because, that's the day you might fall. So
Right.
I my day. It's been a struggle for me, and yeah, it's difficult to live that out on television because everybody judge you. But and I think that's part of my music also. The little things can take you down, so it's best to brush them off, and that's part of chic. C'est la vie, c'est bon, c'est bon.
I know that one.
And my life is a cabaret. I write my own story, and when Bethany says life is not a cabaret, oh yes, it is.
And that's why people love you, right? That's why, because I think that when someone shares it publicly, you feel less alone for what you're going through, because although you're being judged on such a grand scale, people in their lives are being judged within their family and judging themselves, which is that's harder almost than strangers in a way, because we're the hardest critics of ourselves often.
And when you're a mom and you're a woman, like whatever your world is, you're the center, you're the star of the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're the star of your show, and how you live life really creates your circle. I mean, I'm just out there spreading the joy with my cabaret show, and I love it because I get so much joy back.
Yeah.
So I'm in love with that part of performing.
Are your kids so proud of you? Are they just like so amazed at what you're doing, or are they just used to it?
They're kind of used to it.
Yeah.
My son's like, Mom, I'm not coming to another one of your shows. I get hounded by the women. My poor son, because he's like 6'3", he's very attractive. He's like 27 years old.
Oh my God.
For him, So, he's kind of over it. They're both artists, my kids. I'm a performing artist. Both of my kids are fine artists, painters and design. Victoria's a designer. And so, yeah, my kids are very creative. Television has not really been for them.
Oh,
but
okay.
we're always very supportive, and I've had them on the show in sprinkles. I never really wanted to have their lives exposed the way I've exposed mine in the same way. So I kind of protected them from that. And they could have jumped in at any time and said, you know what, I want to be more on television with you, or I want to be a model, or I want to be, a lot of the girls on the show have daughters that are models. And that was never really Victoria's, desire. So she's totally different in that respect. And I love her for that because she's a true artist.
Yes. Okay. The show.
Check out. You should check out their work.
Check out what?
Victoria de Lesseps and Noelle de Lesseps on Instagram. Check out their paintings and stuff. Amazing. You'll love it.
Wow.
You must be so proud. It's really hard to know how they're going to shake out when you're a mom. When they're younger, you're like, I just hope you move out. Like, that's where we're at. Just don't, just move out. Let's see if we can get a job. And that's what we're going for right now.
Find your passion.
Go slow. We're not even looking for degrees. You know what I mean? We're just looking for them to be happy.
And then, they're passionate about their art. And, that's the great thing.
That's a win.
Yeah. Can you tell us about Welcome to Crappy Lake, please?
What's that?
Welcome to Crappy Lake.
Oh my God. Well, Victoria, that Victoria 5 years ago, she said this to me. She goes, Mom, you should redo The Simple Life with Paris Hilton. It's so you, with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And she said that. So, and guess what? It actually manifested. I'm a big meditator, and I love meditation and manifestation. And then arrives Crappy Lake with Sonia, which was an incredible ride for me. So much fun. We fell in love with this small town in Benton, Illinois. In fact, I'm doing a show next weekend. I'm doing Atlanta and St. Louis, which is where you fly into to go to Benton, Illinois. It's only about an hour and a half from there. So on the 9th and 10th, I'll be in St. Louis, where we filmed Crappy Lake. Anyway, we fell in love with this town. Half of them were like, didn't know who we were. So they were like, who are these girls? The other half were like, and what are these two rich ladies from New York going to do for us? But we had the best time. We fell in love with these people. The motel is now built in addition. Our suites are sold out through next year. We left a lot of good things behind, like the playground for children that you haven't seen yet, girls. But when you see, you'll see what we did there, and helped out at the dog shelter. We did a variety show with the townspeople to raise money. So we really had a great time helping this town, but at the same time, fell in love with this town and the people, because we're small town girls at heart. Our lives have changed, but we still remain, with big hearts and a lot of love for these people. And you're going to love that show.
Oh yeah. How long did you like live there for a period of time, film the whole thing?
Yes. I left my house in the Hamptons for 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
From
That's the things you can do when your kids get older. Everyone's so in the trenches, and look what you can do. You can move out for 6 weeks with your best friend and go have fun.
Yeah, well, and we did a lot of work. I literally lost my life for 6 weeks, but it was so worth it. I caught a catfish with my bare hands. You girls have to see this.
Oh, we have to see this.
Does it come to Canada yet?
We have Bravo and Hulu. What do we get?
We get it later. Canada's like delayed. We like to get everything later. Just like that's what we do.
We don't have Hulu.
We don't have Hulu. No. Maybe we do. Hey You. We have Hey You.
And we can watch Bravo.
I have a question for you. And what happened? How do you get over something that you don't love when it's public, whether it's like a failure or something you're like, oh, I wish that wasn't on. Like, how do you personally move through the ick feeling of, because everything's filmed out for you, right? And it's like, how do you do that?
Well, it's funny because, Jill used to get the episode. We only got the episode of Housewives like the week before that it airs. And Jill would get it and go, oh, come on, let's watch it tonight. And I'm like, no, I want to sleep well tonight. I'll watch it in the morning. Because, you can't take back what you've said, right? So you have to kind of live with it. And things that happened 6 months ago are coming back to real life. So you actually have to live it twice.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I would walk away from the moments that stung, and it just takes time. There's certain moments that I couldn't change, or things that I should have said or could have said. But you know what? It's already done. So there's really nothing you can do. So you just, like I said, the little things can take you down. So it's best to brush them off. You just have to really have a strong will and believe that that too shall pass, or that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I try to live in the moment. That's why I'm a meditator. I don't think about the past a lot. I don't try to project too much about my future. Of course, I'm planning my cabaret shows and TV shows, etc. But I try to be as much as I can in the moment. If the moment's uncomfortable, then try to do something which makes you happy.
I feel like every mom needs to hear that, because so often they're living in the past and fretting about the future. So stressing about the past and fretting about the future. And I feel like that, that feeling of living in two worlds and then not enjoying now. I think that's just such an important lesson to hear, is like, you can't do much about that and you can't really stress about that. So do right now and find something that makes you happy, even if it's find you're comfortable.
But there's a reason why the rearview mirror is a lot smaller than the windshield.
Oh, Luann, drop the mic right there. Like, moms, put that in your back pocket. I love that.
Luann, you seem happy. What's your life like right now?
Oh my God, I am living my best life. Right? I'm living my best life. I am single. I am happy. I have to report.
That'll do it.
I don't have to report to anyone. Although I'm a hopeless romantic, and I believe that 2024 is going to be my year to find love. I'm too busy right now, but let me tell you, I'm talking all about that stuff in Mary F. Kill is the name of my new show, which will be that you'll see out in Los Angeles in 2024. So, I'm manifesting 2024 for myself, and I'm kicking it off on Valentine's Day with my.
Perfect. Do you have all your dates? Are they out for 2024? Do you know what they are? Are they released?
I only know that the premiere is going to be in Los Angeles at the Wheelchair on February 16th. And then I'll be getting some dates on the calendar, and you girls will be the first to know when I get back to Canada.
Okay, perfect. How long is the show?
It's about 90 minutes.
Is there an intermission?
No.
90 minutes straight, baby.
Not great. And I changed 3 times. I give you, you're in for a fashion show. You're in for laughter. You are
How do you change?
You can't tell us the secrets.
How do you change? Do you like go down and drop back?
Yeah, well, it's called a quick change room. So I have my team behind and I run out, show a video, and then I change real quick and then I jump back out to the stage.
That's so exciting.
Luann, you're like a breath of fresh air. Like really, you are. You're joyful, and that's so needed right now. I feel like a lot of people aren't joyful, and like you're oozing joy, and that's so nice to see.
And energy.
Thank you. No, energy is very important, and we have to talk positively to ourselves. Like you said earlier, we're so hard on ourselves. Why not be kind to ourselves?
Agree. Where can everyone find you and come find your joyful self? Where should they go? Is there a sign up for 2024? What are we doing here?
And.com. You can go to find out everything I'm up to and see where my shows are going to be coming up and to get your tickets and working on a jewelry line. So that's cool. Makes sense for me, right? I should be doing a jewelry line at this point.
I was like, yeah, statement. I got it. I'm like, I picked up. We need statement necklaces. Understood. Understood. Yep. Statement jewelry.
Please, statement necklaces and yeah. So more television stuff coming up, and let's see, a new song that I'm working on. So I love my career and I feel very blessed. I really do.
Hey, I want to say one last thing before we go. You wake up like this and you go to bed like this. And everyone says, like, are you always like this? And I'm like, you're one of those people that are always like how you are right now. This is not something you have to like no time.
Wake up caffeinated?
Yeah, you wake up caffeinated.
Well, I have to have my coffee in the morning. But again, I think I just sent a girlfriend some positive affirmations for the morning. Go to YouTube, check out little positive affirmations to tell yourself for 10 minutes every day, just 10 minutes. And you literally end up at the end of those 10 minutes smiling and happy because we forget about how we need to do self-care and take care of ourselves first. Then you can go out and conquer the world.
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, we love this boost of energy this morning. And we were so excited that we get to have you on our podcast. And we can't wait to spend Valentine's Day together with you. And everybody should go see the show because even if you don't know, it sounds like a wild ride.
It's such a fun ride. And it's funny that you say that because I have people that come to the show that don't know the show, that don't know the New York Housewives or anything about it. And they have a great time. I really pick music also that they kind of grew up on. That's why I have a lot of mothers and daughters and bachelorettes and things. And what I do is I do music that I love, and I know that you're going to know the song. So you're right along with me. So
I'm going to lose my voice.
Love that. Well,
your voice at my show. You're going to have such a good time.
We'll see you we'll bring Ricola and see you in 2024.
I will see all you fellow. My parents are Canadian, by the way. Yeah, from Montreal. So I will see you for the first time in Calgary on the 15th and now
of December.
Yeah, like
2 weeks.
But when they hear this, I think this is going out this week. So yeah,
2 weeks.
Right. So get your tickets, guys. You don't want to miss the show.
God, Calgary, I'm so jealous. If we didn't have 7 children, we might think about it.
Consider it. Thank you, Luann. Can't wait to meet you in real life.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.